Okay, so starting off with problems number 1 and 2, we're going to work with dividing fractions. So, anybody remember the process of dividing fractions? Some of you guys tried to say this on Friday. Keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep the first fraction the same. We change to a multiplication, and we flip the second fraction only. So 5 over 4, and then we multiply straight across. So 7 times 5 is 35 over 15 times 4, 60. And then I need to simplify. So I could divide by 5 and get 7 over, yep. Okay, for number 2, I have a mixed number times a whole number. So I'm going to have to work with these fractions first before I divide. So the mixed number I need to convert into an improper. So 5 1/3 would become 16 over 3. And then -7, if I put that over 1 to make it a fraction, I'm going to take it and multiply and then flip it. So 1 over -7, and then multiply straight across. So 16 times 1 is 16, and 3 times -7, -21. And can that be simplified? No. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 of those. So number 3 and number 4 to work through. Okay, so for 5 over 11, I keep 5 over 11, change to multiply, and then flip 1/2 to be 2 over 1. So straight across that would equal 10 over 11, and that can't be simplified. Number 4, I need to put 2 3/8 into an improper fraction. So what would that become? 19 over 8, and then switch to multiply, and then flip 2 over 1 to be 1/2. So then if I multiply straight across, I get 19 over 16. And then I need to change that back into an improper fraction. So 16 goes into 19 one whole time. And how many are left over? 3/16. Okay, so now we're going to look at dividing decimals. So we're going to have to do some long division. So here's number 5 and number 6. So when we do long division of decimals, we first need to get rid of the decimal that you're dividing by. So you have 7.48 divided by 0.4. We can't divide by a decimal. So we need to get rid of it. So in order to get rid of it, you multiply by 10, but really it's as easy as just moving the decimal to the right. So we're going to move this to the right 1. And then whatever we do to the denominator, we have to do to the numerator. So we're going to also move this to the right 1. So this essentially becomes 74.8 divided by 4. So we got rid of the decimal in the denominator. Okay, so then I'm going to set up long division. So 4 goes on the outside, 74.8 goes on the inside. And then I'm going to carry my decimal straight up. So 4 goes into 7. How many times? 1. That would be 4. And I subtract. And I get 3. And then what do I bring down? The 4. 4 goes into 34. 8 times. So that would be 32. Subtract. And I get a 2. Carry down my 8. And then 4 goes into 8. 7 times, and that equals 28. So my answer would be 18.7. Okay, so we're going to do the same process for what number is that? Number 6. So I can't have any decimals in my denominator. So what I'm going to do is move my decimal over to the right 2 to get rid of it. So what I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So I'm going to go over to the right 2. So then I'm going to have 38.4 divided by 24. So I'll set up long division, and 24 goes on the outside, 38.4 goes on the inside. Okay, so how many times would 24 go into 38? 1 time. So then I subtract that and get what? 14. Carry down my 4. So 24 goes into 144 6 whole times, and that equals 144. And I get a remainder of 0. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is pretty much the same thing, except we're going to substitute before we divide. So for the next 2 problems, we're going to do some substituting. So this is number 7 and 8. So 7.2 over n, and n equals negative 0.24. So once I substitute it, I'm going to have 7.2 over negative 0.24. So if we use long division, what do we need to do in our denominator? We need to move our decimal over 2. So if I move my decimal over 2 in my denominator, I'm going to get negative 24. I have to move it over 2 in my numerator. So what do I put? It's a blank spot. 0. So I'm going to have 720. So then when I go to divide, kind of ignore the negative until the end, but you have 720 divided by negative 24. Okay, so starting off, 24 goes into 72 how many times? I heard 3. What do you deal with in everyday life that's 24? Hours, right? So that should be like, you should know a lot of the numbers associated with 24 because that's 24 hours in a day. So 24 goes into 72 3 times, and 3 times 24 is 72. So then I would get 0 and carry down a 0. 24 goes into 0 times, right? And then I would need to put my negative. So this is saying you could think of it like in 30 days, there would be 720 hours that would pass by. So that'd be like about a month. Okay, number 8, we're going to substitute and then divide. So m divided by 5 over 24, and then m is 3 3/4. So 3 3/4 divided by 5 over 24. So I'm going to need to fix my fractions before I start. So 3 3/4, I need to make mixed, or sorry, not mixed, improper. Okay, so 15 over 4. Change your sign to multiply, and then flip your second fraction. So 24 over 5. And then multiply straight across. So 15 times 24. What? over 20. Okay, and then I need to simplify. What could I divide out that they both have at the end? 0 or a 10. So that would make it 36 over 2, which would equal what? 18. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 of those to do. All right, so if I go through and solve this, when I substitute, I would have 5.25 divided by 0.15. So I need to then move my decimal twice. So I would get 525 divided by 15. You could do long division on this, or you could start simplifying. Like I noticed they both end in 5, so I probably simplified that down. Did everybody jump to long division? Okay, we'll do it that way then. So how many times does 15 go into 52? And that would be 45, and I would subtract that and get 75. So 15 goes into 75. 6 whole times, and that equals 75. So my answer would be 36. No. 15 goes into 75 5 whole times, which is 75. Okay, there we go. All right, number 10, we're substituting k equals 5. So 5 divided by 4/5. And I'm going to put 5 over 1. So keep change flip. So 5 over 1, change to multiply, and flip to 5/4. So I would end up with 25/4. And then I need to make that mixed. So how many times does 4 go into 25? 6 whole times with, what's my remainder? 1/4. Okay, we just have one problem left over, and it's a word problem. So this is number 11. Okay. All right, Ella ate 2/3 of a cup of low-fat yogurt. So I'm going to kind of list out the important information. So she ate 2/3 of a cup. The serving size listed on the container is 6 ounces or 3/4 of a cup. So since we already are talking about cups, I'm just going to do the cup version of the serving, because we're not going to like go 2 different measurements, right? So the serving is listed as 3/4 of a cup. How many servings did Ella eat, and how many calories did Ella eat? Okay. So I'm going to kind of go through an easier example first, and then we'll do this. So here is a box of like vanilla wafer type cookies, right? So if I look at the serving, the nutrition label, it says that 9 cookies is a serving. So if I ate 27 cookies, how many servings did I eat? 3. And how did you get that number? I told you I ate 27 cookies, and there are 9 servings in a cookie. 9 cookies in a serving. So what do you do to get 3? Divide, right? So you take the number you ate, right, divided by the number in a serving, and that'll tell you how many servings you ate. So let's do that. So you ate 2/3 of a cup, and there's 3/4 of a cup in a serving. So you ate 2/3, and we need to divide that by 3/4 of a cup in a serving. How am I going to do that? What's the process? Dividing fractions. Keep, change, flip. So 2/3 times 4/3. So I'm going to end up with 8/6, right? 8/9. Okay, so I'm going to end up with 8/9 of what? A serving. All right, so the second question is, how many calories did she eat? So if one serving is 100 calories, how do we figure out what 8/9 of a serving is? So the cookie example again. I ate 3 servings, remember? And there are 90 calories in each serving. How many calories did I eat? 270. How did you get that number? You had the number 90 and you had the number 3. How do you get it to be 270? Multiply. So we're going to take 100 calories and 8/9, multiply it. So 8/9 times 100. We can put it over 1. So that would be 800 over 9. Can I simplify that? Or let's set up long division. So 9 goes into 80 how many times?
9.
Not 9, 8. And 9 times 8 is 72. So I would get 8 left over, bring down my 0. 9 goes into 80. 8 times again. So 72. What's happening here?
It's just repeating.
It's repeating. So 88.8 repeating calories would be how much of that I ate. Okay. So here is your assignment. Page 17, even 2 through 46.